Welcome to Kickass Buddy Connection, the podcast that reminds you success doesn't have to come at the cost of burnout. I am your host, Prita Bolaki, and together we are rewriting what it means to lead with confidence, clarity, and support. In this space, we crush limiting beliefs, rise above perfectionism, and build a life where you're back, not broken. Each episode is your permission slip to stop doing it all alone, because your potential deserves more than just survival mode. It deserves power, it deserves purpose, and it deserves a kick-ass buddy in your corner. If that speaks to your soul, stick around. Subscribe now, and let's get you back, not burnout. Let's kick burnout to the side and ignite the unstoppable force within you. Disclaimer. The primary purpose of this podcast is to provide education. Information provided in this podcast is not intended to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure any disease. Information given in this podcast must not be used in any legal capacity whatsoever, including but not limited to as a basic for expert witness testimony or establishing standard of care in a legal sense. Trigger warning. Some experiences shared in the podcast may be triggering to some audience members. User discretion is advised. Welcome to Kickass Buddy Connection, the podcast that reminds you success doesn't have to come at the cost of burnout. I'm your host, Prita Bolaki, and today's episode is something special. We are sitting down with a grounded, driven guest who faced the pressure, broken the cycle, and come out stronger with clarity, discipline, and purpose. Today, we dive into his journey, the setback, the turning points, the kick-ass buddy who reminded him he didn't have to carry it alone. Because behind every steady rise is a story of support, ownership, and the decision to lead from the inside out. So grab your tea or your power coffee and get ready, because this episode is your reminder that you were not meant to do it alone. Today's guest is a shining example of what it looks like to rise through resilience, lead with purpose, and stay grounded in service. Andy Thomas is the Executive Director and Treasurer of Mauritian Diaspora Australia, and a seasoned home lending manager at the Bank of Melbourne. With over a decade of experience across major Australian banks like NAB Westpac, Andy has not only mastered the world of finance, but also committed himself to uplifting others professionally and personally. From managing teams at Woolworth to assessing credit risk and empowering clients through major life decisions, Andy's journey is one of the great reinvention and intentional self-leadership. Today, he opens up about what it took to break out the cycle of burnout, how discipline became his power, and the moment he stopped doing it all alone. Our topic today, from repetition to reinvention, on self-discipline and support. A conversation about breaking the cycle, taking ownership, and finding the support you didn't know you needed to rise into a more empowered version of yourself. Andy Thomas, welcome to Kickass Buddy Connection, where we are back and not burnout.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
So, Andy, what's one pivotal moment that shaped your self-leadership or mindset journey?
So a pivotal moment that helped me, so that was a trigger point for me, was that when every year I used to write my personal goals on a sheet of paper. So, and then what happened is that every single year, I have the same goals that started to repeat itself. And I was looking at it and I'm like, what's going on? So it's the same thing over and over again. So that's where I started this new year. I said, now, you know what? I think I need to change something. I need to do something different. And that's where the Kickass Buddy was something that I wanted to try. didn't know that it was going to work or what was going to be the outcome, but that was something I needed to do something different. So I had to make changes. And at the end of the day, by trying that, by doing the 5 day challenge, it was amazing. It set me up on what really I needed to focus on and making sure that I know where I wanted to go and what I wanted to achieve.
That's amazing. That level of self-awareness is powerful, right, Andy?
Yes.
Sometimes I believe the bravest thing we can do is to admit what's not working and be willing to try a new way. And I love that you took that ownership of your growth instead of staying stuck. Let's talk about the shift that happened once you find support. When did you realize that doing it alone was not sustainable, or what shifted after you found support?
So I realized that doing it alone was not working for me. So I took a chance on the 5 day challenge, as I mentioned a bit earlier. Honestly, didn't know what was to expect, and I just felt stuck and figured that I had nothing to lose by trying the 5 day challenge. But at the end of the 5 days, something clicked. So I started to see things differently and realized how much I was carrying on my own. So that small step opened my eyes on the power of support. And I began to focus a bit more on myself. That was a turning point for me.
So it's amazing what one bold step can do. I love how you said something click, because that's often how transformation begins, right? It's not always a big moment. Sometimes it's like a small decision that changes everything. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Speaking of powerful people in our life, so who has been your Kickass buddy? Who is that someone who had your back when it mattered the most?
So my Kickass Buddy came a bit later than I thought. I was not expecting it to. I wasn't expecting her to be my Kickass Buddy, but I found her when I was on my trip overseas. So it was a very long lost contact. But we used to have a very strong relationship back in the days, and I've lost touch with her. And when I went overseas, we reconnected, and as soon as we met each other, it felt like no time has passed. So we went straight back into the old way of talking and what we used to do and how we could talk freely between each other. And I was able to open myself to her and explain to her what was my challenges and what was going on in my life. And the support that she gave me was amazing. There was no judgment. She was just here to listen. She motivated me and she said to me, look, you have achieved so much already. So that's just a path for you now to keep progressing and getting better. And from there on, that's where I found out that she was my kick-ass buddy, because I feel so free talking to her about everything and everything. And the support that she gives me is amazing.
Yeah, what was the relationship? How was it different from other? When you said you find your kick-ass buddy at a later stage?
So I had an issue with opening up to people. I'm someone that normally like to hold my problems on myself and don't like to share about but I will I will happily listen to others and try to help others, but it was not that easy for me to open up and tell what was my issue. And end of the day, I don't know how, and I don't understand why. But as soon as we sat down around a coffee and we were starting to talk about back in the days what we used to do athletics together. So we were talking about sport and stuff. And she asked me, so how's things going for you personally? How's your life? And I just opened up and it just came out. It was so easy for me to tell her what was going on. And at the same time, she was also opening about her challenges, and we could easily talk to each other without any judgment. So that's where I understood that this is the type of friendship that I was looking for. As soon as we talk, it's easy for me to open up to them instead of people that normally, when you talk to them, you find it difficult because you're scared of them judging you or thinking any other way about you.
That's amazing. Because I know the story, I don't know if you want to share, like, what made you took that trip? How does it happen? If you can share a little about it, because I know the story, so I wanted others to know that sometimes you have to take steps. Would you be okay to share a bit about it?
More than happy. So initially, I planned a trip to go. It was meant to be a boys' trip, so which was going to be my brother, myself, and my dad, and hopefully my brother-in-law. But that was a give and take if he was able to come or not. And on the last month, just before the trip, my brother couldn't make it because he didn't get his leave approved. My dad said, "Oh, I was not sure if you were going or not, so I didn't plan nothing." So end of the day, I was thinking about canceling the trip. I'm like, look, I'm not going to go there alone. It was meant to be something with a family, going with parents and having people around me. So, and I spoke to yourself. You said, oh, maybe it's meant to be. Maybe it's meant for you to go alone. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I spoke to my wife, and my wife said, maybe, yeah, that's true. You should be going there alone. So maybe it's something good for you where you get to reflect on yourself. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's give it a try. And I booked everything for myself, hotel, and I went there. And as soon as I got there, this person actually worked in the airport. So the first thing, as soon as I told her, look, I'm going to come to your country, so I'll be there. So I don't know much about it, but that'll be great if you can just point me in a couple of directions as I don't get lost. And as soon as I landed, she took time from her job to come and greet me and put me in a cab to the hotel and making sure that I was getting there safe. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. That was a good beginning. And then on the second day, she said, oh, look, I'm finishing work a bit early. So if you want to catch up for a coffee, we can go and we'll sit down and have a chat. I'm like, let's do that. And that's where I found her there. And the fact that every time she have an issue, the first person she will reach out is me. And she will say, hey, I'm dealing with some work thing. What do you think? What is your opinion? What and we talk about it, and that's great. And since then, it just keep building and getting better.
Yeah, and meeting her family as well, right?
Yeah, special. Yeah. So when I went there, she made sure that she took me to her home where I met her husband, her mom, her dad, her kids, and she said to them, look, this is my longtime friend, and we've been friends for so long. And the family greeted me and welcomed me so nicely. We had dinner together and stuff like that. But the fact that I was not expecting it, and that trip in itself have changed me when I came back. First of all, I was able to connect with someone and be able to open myself. And at the same time, it allowed me to focus a bit more on myself and make sure that, I understand what is my inner growth that I need to focus on. First of all,
and I have to congratulate you for taking that bold step, because it was not easy. And I remember telling you that, but at the end of the day, you trusted me and you're like, why not? Let me go for it. That's such a big one and so relatable, because it's so easy to take on everyone else's weight and think we are doing the right thing, when in reality it's costing us sometimes our energy, our clarity. And I really appreciate your honesty in telling that, and especially in taking that decision, because when you came back, you were different. Like, you could see that it was a reason why you needed to go alone. Thank you for sharing that, because sometimes we have the opportunities, but we don't see that opportunities. We always complain, like, you could have said, oh, no one is coming, but you try to find, why not going alone? And that's a good example. And people who will be watching it, I hope that will really help them in taking that bold step, because if we want to succeed, if we want to achieve our goal, we have to take that bold step. And thank you so much, Andy, for sharing that. If you could go back and give your younger self one advice, what would it be?
So if I had to speak to my younger self, one advice that I'll give myself is to be patient. Learn that with things comes with time. Don't rush through the process. Build a very strong foundation. This is very, very important. Very important. And we as human beings we want things now. We everything that we want it right now. So I want a car, I want a new car, I want it now. The thing is that you need to learn how to drive properly first, and then you understand how to drive on this road, and then get the car. So this is the thing that I will have to. If I had the chance to go back, I would tell myself, but just learn to be patient. Things will come. Just keep putting the work in. Be consistent about it. Trust yourself, because everything comes in time. And at the end of the day, if you have that very strong foundation, you will see the result flourishing after that. So it would just keep building, and it would build on a very strong, stable foundation, which means that the success itself will be very stable on the long term.
When you're relating to your younger self, you're saying be patient. Can you give us an example that now or when you were patient, how things change, you achieve your goal, or what changed really?
I won't have to go too far. So even a couple of years back, on my early stage of being a lender, when I wasn't getting the drawdowns, or I was not getting the amount of customers that I wanted through the month and stuff, I was starting to be impatient, and I'm like, oh, do I quit? It's not good enough. I think I need to change, and I don't think I'm good enough for this job. But the fact that now, and even now, when times are very challenging for a lender because we have so much competition out there, and what happened is that I understand now that all I need to do is to just contact people and let them know who I am and what I do. And when people will need my help, they will come back. Obviously, it's great to keep a relationship and keep contacting them, but now I'm a bit more patient about it. I understand that, you know what, you just have to plant the seed. You keep watering it, it will grow eventually. But if you put a seed in and expect the fruit straight away, it will not happen. So this is the change that happened. And that's why now, if I need to reflect back on my younger self, there's a lot of different occasions where I was so much impatient, where I could have waited a little bit and I would have seen the result. But I walk through the corridor, I get in front of the door, I can't see the door, I say, I turn back, I can't see the door, there's no door here. But if I just needed to wait a little bit, I would have seen the door and I would be able to get through. So this is the reason why, this is a good example of, I was impatient in the past, being, I want things, I want it now, I don't see the result now, whereas now I'm a bit more settled. And I'm a bit more, all right, you know what? No, that's fine. It's not coming. It's fine. As long as you keep connecting with people, you keep writing pre-approvals, people will eventually buy. When they buy, they will come back to you. So that patients have grown now and understand how things are going.
Yeah, such wisdom. Patient really can feel hard when we want change, but you're right. It's a slow, grounded work that really lasts, right? And that foundation gives us the resilience to keep going as well.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Let's talk about the habits that help you to stay aligned today. What's one mindset habit or even daily practice that keeps you grounded and in your power?
The one mindset habit that keep me grounded and empowered is to refuse to negotiate with myself. So I am very, very disciplined and very, very consistent with how I do things and how I need things to get done. So it's very easy for people to feel tired, unmotivated, and start to have excuses for not doing something. We are all guilty of that. So we all have lazy days, and we all have tired days, or feel sick. But because I refuse to negotiate with myself, I said, no, this is the task that I need to get done today. I will get it done. No matter what, I will get it done. And one of the things that I don't negotiate with myself is to go to the gym. So I love the gym. I love exercising. That helped me to set myself up for the day. So I don't miss a day of the gym, because I will not negotiate with myself for missing a day because I feel tired. And that helped me to keep my brain focused on what I want to achieve, what I want to do, and where I want to go. But at the same time, it gives me, it opens my eyes to the power of support. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, when you start focusing on yourself, and understand what you need, how you need to get things done, and be consistent with it, you start seeing that, hey, I can't do that alone. I will need help. And that's the same thing with the gym. When I go there, I want to lift a heavier weight. I can't do it myself. That's the first time I do it, and that's where I need that support, and that's where I understand all these things work together. So, story short, the thing that keep me going is my consistency and my discipline, I don't negotiate with myself with that.
Yeah, I love that. And you are indeed. I've been coaching you and I know you don't negotiate with the consistency and your discipline, which I love a lot. And I love how you said, don't negotiate with your growth. I'm going to remember that one because it's so powerful. That level of discipline, that self-trust is indeed a game changer. For anyone listening who is still feeling stuck or unsure, what message do you want to leave for others who are still doubting themselves or feeling stuck?
So, to anyone who feels stuck or doubting themselves, know that you're not alone, and it is okay to ask for help. For years, I've been repeating the same thing for me, and no progress, nothing was happening. I thought I was getting stuck, and that was it for me. But once you realize that there is support out there, and if you go and ask for help, just and ask for help to the right people, obviously, just to help you to redirect you on the right direction. This will help you to start growing. This will help you to start to understand a bit more of yourself. So I've learned to put I've learned before I used to put a lot of people before me. So people who have their own issues, and I always tried to help others, but didn't realize that I was not helping myself. Learn to focus on yourself. Learn to ask for help when you need help. Small start will always help you to get better. Be patient with yourself, and stay consistent with the work that you're putting in. All right. So these are my things that I believe that help me to grow. And people are capable of everything. All right. It's just setting the right mindset, and have a very clear goal of what we want to achieve. And then we just need to trust themselves.
I love what you said. It's so important. What have changed since you started getting support? Because you said something like, I repeated the same goal without progress, but what really changed? That are you having progress quicker, or are you just not procrastinating?
I'll have to say it was at the beginning of, not the very beginning, but when we started the program together, when we started to put in place plans of how, what I wanted to achieve and how I wanted to achieve, the breakdown of that plan was what was making it a bit easier for me to understand what really I wanted to achieve. Instead of writing a word, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, yeah. How can I become a millionaire? Or things like I want to write $50 million in a year. Yeah. How are you going to write 50 million? So and then we break it down, and that's how I was able to really focus on what I really wanted, instead of just writing a big sentence and not really knowing where I was going. The planning around it. So now I understand how to organize and plan of what I want to achieve, and put it really in an order what is achievable. Because a lot of people also set goals in the wrong order, and then because they are unclear in their head of what they want to achieve and when they want to achieve it, so that's where we may lose a whole year and haven't achieved nothing. So whereas if we put clear goals on what by when, then we can actually start moving in that direction to get back.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you, Andy, for sharing. Beautifully said. It's such a gift to hear your story, actually, Andy, because it shows that change is possible when you stop doing it alone and start believing in yourself, but also step by step. Thank you for being so real, and thank you for being so generous with your journey. I'm sure people hearing your story, you will definitely help someone out there of finding a solution. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
What an inspiring conversation with Andy. From repeating the same goal year after year to stepping into radical ownership and discipline, Andy's journey is a reminder that a true growth begins the moment we start negotiating with ourselves and start seeking the support we truly need. Whether it was his mindset shift, his rekindled friendship, or his refusal to carry everyone's weight anymore, there's something in Andy's story that hits home for all of us. We don't have to carry the load alone.
Remember, you don't have to do it all alone. When you're back, not burnout, anything is possible. If today's episode sparked something in you, share it with a friend. Leave a review or tag me at Prita Bolaki. I'd love to hear what landed for you. Until next time, keep showing up for yourself, because your best life is just one bold step and one Kickass Buddy away. Back, not burnout, always in your corner.